Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Divisions, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and joining me is co-host Andrew Griffith. We are awaiting the arrival of Garrett Punchy Dill. But Griff, it's been a very interesting weekend of football. A total of 35 goals scored in the Premier and First Division. Let's run down the scores, starting with Friday night's match in the Premier Division. It was North Village Rams 2, Devonshire Cougars 1. Then today it was the Dandytown Hornets 1, Devonshire Colts 4, PHC Zebras 2, Crossroads 1, Boulevard Blazers 3, St. George's Colts 3, Paget Lions 1, Young Men Social Club 2. And on Friday night in the First Division, it was Wolves 0, Somerset Trojans 1. And then today in the First Division, it was Robin Hood 10, Vasco 2, Somerset Eagles 2, St. David's 0. So, Griff, once again, a lot of goals scored. The top of the table in both divisions have now new leaders. Let's start off with the match on Friday night. Fourth place up for grabs. It was a tie when they went into the match between North Village Rams and Devonshire Cougars, and it was the North Village Rams who emerged victorious 2-1. Looking at it, North Village had been in a slight slump. Devonshire Cougars were. We have Punchy as well. Good evening, Punchy.
Good evening, fellas.
We had Devonshire Cougars who were kind of just before the Christmas break on a rise, but in the end, Punch, I'm just going to mute your mic. We got a lot of feedback from yours. Okay. Okay. You look at what North Village has been able to rebound the start of the second half of the season. Was the result a surprise to you, Griff?
Yes and no. In the first half, I got to go to this game. In the first half, Devonshire Cougars looked very good. They were moving the ball nicely, and it was a good goal they scored. They deserved it. Perfectly crossed ball, forward met it, planted it. It was, and they had more of the possession. But as we say every week, like Village, they shouldn't have been in awe because they were in the game. It was only 1-0. Every week we say Cougars give up goals. So something can happen in the second half. But the other side of it is Village hadn't been scoring a lot of goals. So which thing will prevail in the second half? We'll to see. And in the second half, Village, I guess, made some changes at halftime and started to get back into the game. And you could see that a goal was coming. So when they tied it up, the waves kept coming, and it was just an expectation that the second one would come, and it eventually came. So, but it was a pretty even game, despite the 2-1.
Yeah, Punchy, let me get your thoughts on that Friday night match with Village and Cougars.
Yeah. You guys can hear me? You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, folks. I agree with Griff too. I think North Village wants to, deserve that victory. I think the last two chances, I thought those chances that Cougars could have capitalized in the last couple of minutes were, I just think, a lack of concentration at the back. But I think what Griff is saying is that seeing North Village transformation from that terrible game they played in the cup game and how they approached it. It looks like the coaching staff got together. I know the coaching staff got together and talked about certain things. They were much more better. They handled the ball better. They created more chances, and they moved the ball more intelligently. I just think that they could have walked away with a 4-1 victory. But
you said they changed from the New Year's Day game to the game on Friday, but I think there was a marked change from the first half to the second half. It was two completely different halves.
I just think that, well, let's say, for instance, the possession rate. The possession rate was almost like against Cougars. They moved the ball quicker. The free kicks were much more inventive. They never played. They came out the back better. And it looked like Pettis, the coach made some changes at the back. First of all, they brought the young man at the back on the left side, who I thought has a very good touch. Yeah, he could definitely. He's young, but he looks so comfortable on the ball. That was one thing about him. And then one was also he moved Tamai and back into the middle, which also helped. And at the full on the right side, and I think what it is on the left side, even where the goals came, with Otterbridge getting forward more, and this young man playing in Otterbridge's place at the back, his quality, he's able, a lot of times he stays calm, he makes some good passes, and some, I think the second goal came from his instrumental. He was instrumental in setting up the second goal because the ball came from the left side from Otterbridge. But again, with North Village, I just think that they look better. They, like I said, whatever, I know there was a lot of about what happened in the cup game. And it looks like they're turning around. And they definitely showing momentum. And that was not an easy game. And Cougars played good, too.
Well, I think Shea Brankman is a player. He has awesome touches. Some of the stuff he did during the game, I was like, wow. Very good player.
Yeah, but Griff, you touched on it, the fact that Cougars seem to always give up goals. We talk about it all the time. So if a team can manage to stay in the game, they have an opportunity to get something out of it. What would you think Cougars would need to do to kind of stop that flow of goals going in?
Well, I'm not a technical person by any means, but simple as a defend better. How you do it, but again, it's got to be a complete collective team effort. And how you work that out at this stage of these seasons, what we're like 60% of the way through, like it's nothing major that you're going to be able to do at this point of the season. And it's not like your Premier League. You're not got a January transfer window and somebody else is walking through the door. So this is a difficult problem to fix at this stage of the season.
Punchy, from what you've seen of Devonshire Cougars, where would you say the problem is at the back that they keep conceding goals?
I think when they lost the national player to Dandytown, what's his name?
Lejean?
Yeah, Deshaun. Yeah, Lejean. Yes. That was a huge loss in terms of his seniority and his ability to be able to steady the ship at the back. They don't have that right now. And like Griff said, also they concede goals. Now they can score goals. Yeah. They definitely Shea Brankman and Coddington are really goal scorers. They're just goal scorers. And then it's the left winger, right? Shea Brankman, with his size, he puts in a good shift, man. He really does.
He's skillful, big guy. He's very skillful.
Very skillful. His touch is good.
Yeah.
Plays, but I think what lies with them is defensively. Defensive. What we're talking about is that when you look like you're playing good and you're in the game, then there's certain things that have to be managed well. And I think at the back they still they're not really solid at the back. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So how they say what's his name? Lamine Yamal at Barcelona. Is the second coming of Messi? People say that. So I'm saying at Devonshire Rack, I think Shea Brankman, because it's starting to get that size. There's a big guy. I didn't realize he's that big. Just standing up next to him on Brody. It's the second coming of Mark Steed, I think. Same sort of big size.
Well, okay. Well, let's turn our attention to today because there has been a change at the top of the table after the match at Whitehill Field. Going into today, the Dandytown Hornets were on 22 points. Devonshire Colts were on 21, tied for second, but in third place on goal difference behind PAC. And at the end of the day, it was Dandytown 1, Devonshire Colts 4. So Devonshire Colts have leapfrogged the Dandytown Hornets, but You know, someone pointed out to me earlier this week that Devonshire Colts defeated Dandytown last season to kind of derail their momentum in the second half of the season, which saw them then falter and fall down the table, because remember they were leading last season at the halfway mark or in contention, but Devonshire Colts beat them 2-1, and that kind of derailed their momentum going into the second half of the season. And it looks as if this has happened again. Devonshire Colts scoring 4 goals. They've proven they can score goals. Again, Sanaj Mitchell getting on target. They had Elijah Darrell getting on target. They had, they're just been. Ray has these guys convinced that they can beat just about anyone. I'm going to go to you, Punchy. Obviously, you're surprised by the score, 4-1. But what pleases you the most? The fact that Ray has Devonshire Colts doing some things that they are believing in themselves.
Well, last week against North Village, I think they've moved Samuels, the young Samuels.
Yes, he scored twice today.
Yeah, he plays. He's not a midfielder now. He's almost playing like out and out striker.
Yeah, Jazade. Yes.
Jazade, yeah. And he has talent and he has fight. He's got quality. The only thing, he has a temper, which the kind of personality he has. But right. I noticed that against North Village last week. He is a constant threat and he has talent. I always thought it's funny. Did you see him playing in that position now? Mm-hmm. As maybe a number 10 or a number 9? Just how threatening he is. Now, against North Village, he looked a threat, constant threat. Yeah. He runs well with he plays well with his back towards the goal. So that problem looks like having him there. Ray Jones is solved one aspect of when they could beat teams like North Village and they could beat teams like Devonshire Colts. And that one decision is bearing fruit. The other guy that scores all the goals, the young one who's really good player.
Yeah.
So that's taking some weight off his shoulders, because when both of them play together, the combination there, you see something really good about them. So it's good for the game also, because you're talking about a national team coach. Mm-hmm. You're talking about Ray Jones as a national team coach at one time, the assistant national team coach involved in the national program. He's beaten Dandytown this week. He beat North Village last week, right? And I don't think it's by mistake. I think he's showing up his quality. He's showing up his, what he was missing in the puzzle maybe last year.
Right. Mm-hmm. Dandytown, obviously a loss and a big one. But just looking at how do they regroup? How do they recover?
Yeah, I'm shocked. So I can imagine how they feel. Like this game was supposed to be played yesterday, and I had my whole Saturday mapped out to watch it, because I knew that it would be a good game, but never would I ever have thought that it would be a 4-1 game. So I wouldn't talk to people that were at the game, because I wonder how they, 4-1 is a lot. And I thought, again, 2 evenly matched teams, it might be one goal that wins it. For Dandytown to be dominated, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Well, we always look at a scoreline, and scoreline does tell a story, but without seeing the game, were they really outplayed, or were they got chances?
I don't know if they're biased, but whatever from you Colts supporters at the game, they said Colts were missing a lot of chances. This game could have been 6 or 7.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. Well, just looking at that, I mean, when Devonshire Colts started the season, they beat North Village. They were doing well. I think a lot of people were expecting something to go wrong and derail their program, but it seems as if, again, Ray has these guys. They're convinced they can beat just about anybody in the league, and they will be title contenders, because now they're right in the mix. They're tied for first place, just in second place on goal difference by 1 now. But looking at it,
don't give Ray all the plaudits. I think we had a part to play in this, because when I saw him on Friday, he said, "Look, we beat North Village. We took 6 points off them this week, and The three of us, we still picked Dandy Ton, all of us, against amateur coach. He said he played it to his team. He says, look, they still doubt you. Everybody's hating us. He said, oh, yeah, that charged them up for training. They said, all right, let's still doubt.
But let's put it like this. Let's put it like this.
So I think we got one of the points of the three today for him. The three of us, we helped him.
But he looks of it, he won't be playing nothing else like that.
He's probably gonna be calling us to say, "Don't pick my team again."
Hey, you guys, that's a good point about Ray. But I still think it gets down to the fact that what he's done with Mr. Samuels. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important to recognize that just the threat that he poses to teams now. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've always watched him. I just thought that all the time, of all his work rate, he works his socks off any team he plays for. Mm-hmm. The problem seems to be, where does he really belong? Where's his best position? So Ray has put him up the front there. His movement is good. His touch is good. And he has an eye for goal.
Right.
Along with that, I'm saying to you, just repeating what I said earlier, that looks like it's bearing fruit for Ray. And then he's, I still think they ain't got the best of goalkeepers. I still think that.
Right.
But if what they did today was really remarkable. And like Griff said, no one thought that they would go up them and 4 goals. Wow. Yeah. And I thought that field would have suited the type of style that Danny Ton played. Right. But it seems like whatever Ray's decision on what he set his team up to do today, it paid off, looks like it to me.
Yeah.
But he's spoken before on Samuels and saying that when he didn't have him last year and he just had Mitchell and Henry, he had to keep trying to play them and they had to play themselves out when they got in the bunk. Now they're not scoring, and it's got Samuels, it's got 3 of them. He can drop them, and he said it keeps them hungry. It's like you can't get back into the team unless one of the other guys up, and they push each other in training, they push each other in games. So it's good to have 3 options.
Yeah.
Well, I think also you guys are going to add to this what you guys have been talking about, like with the coaching staff of all these clubs, especially the top 5. I would call the first 5 clubs in Bermuda. There's PAC, there's Dandy Ton, there's North Village, and we're talking about Devonshire Colts. Okay, I would think Cougars is still maybe a 5th team, but I think that what is so important, what we're seeing here is that not only is it important that the game be played at a high standard, but also decisions of the coaches. And I think the other night with North Village and with Cougars, there was there was some decisions made by Patches that actually resulted in North Village putting more pressure on Devonshire Cougars. And I think that's what you're probably seeing now. And what I was saying is that now, not only is it important that the quality of the match of the top 5 teams are good, but also the coaching decisions and how teams play.
Yeah, it's having that quality that you can call on off the bench that kind of makes a difference sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. You just can't have any. You just can't. And you. What's happening again with Devonshire Colts? It's let's say for instance, right? What seems to be happening in this country? The better young players are going to join who? And I think it's important that the better young players go play for some of the top teams. Maybe it's not going to be a neighborhood team a lot of times now, where you're going to get players coming, especially younger players coming back. They want to play for a top team, which we just spoke about in Bermuda now. And I just think that it's going to happen. Like Samuels, he was playing for Dandy Ton. I think he played for Boulevard. He came out of Boulevard.
Yeah, came out of Boulevard.
Oh, yeah. Then he may play for Dandy Ton. And now I see a transformation. I still think that he has his behavior, his mentality has got to change. It's, if he was be able to control that, I see him. I always thought the guy had talent. I always thought his technical ability was good. His tackling was good. His decisions on the ball are very good, and he could score goals. But getting back to the point that I'm saying about the top teams and teams in Bermuda, and it's such a about coaching staff who does what with what they have.
Yeah,
but I think that's been the mandate from BFA to raise the standard. I think in the last 10-15 years, remember way back when a lot of teams stumbled and it gave teams, it was like a grace period. The minimum the head coach had to have was a UEFA B, or equivalent, or you had to have somebody on the bench. So they're trying to raise the standard of coaching, like you said, so that you can raise the player levels, because you can't raise the player levels without having decent coaching. But the other side of that, if you have a good coach, you have to have the players that are coachable. Because sometimes you may push players and they'll resist and fight back. That's why you see a lot of player movement, because they don't want to take the coaching instruction.
Right. That's a big thing. Yeah. Well, guys, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at those other matches in the Premier Division, even that upset at the Wellington Oval. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
After the holidays, it's all about getting back to balance. Lindo's makes January easy with fresh foods, wholesome options, and the brands you know and love. No extremes, just good food done well. This January, find your rhythm again with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, up at the PHC Stadium, PHC Zebras look to avenge that loss they had earlier this season to Crossroads, and they did just that. 2-1 was the score, and that result put PHC on top of the table. We talked about the fact that PHC has been very quiet about being in the position they're in. Now they find themselves top of the table. Griff, would you say that they are just quietly going about their business?
Yes and no. I've said this before. This PHC team is not as impressive to me as the teams that have won the league in the past like 5 years. Mm-hmm. Those teams seem like dominant, and they look like they were going to win every week. PHC, today, I think Crossroads is a good team, so they scratched it out as a good win, but it seems like they are more scrappy. So I think they've scrapped their way to the top, and hats off to them that they're there. But I still always thought Dandy Tom was playing better ball, and now since Colts is on top, I think PHC would need to look over their shoulder, even on top at Colts. Yeah. I think Colts seem like they're playing better ball, but hey, I'm getting a lot of picks wrong, so what do I know?
You're not the only one. Punchy, give us a sense of what you think about PHC thus far this season.
I think you put it right. They're going about their job quietly, but I know that Kyle Lightburn has a lot of influence on that. He does his homework behind the scenes, even though Sequoia's in charge. I speak with Lightburn a lot. But again, another challenge. Another thing is that I think they're a young team too, and with Sequoia, another getting back to the coaching staff in this country, the top 4 or 5 teams, and I forgot to mention PHC. My apologies for that, but it's good. it's really good to see that Coy, who was at last year, a couple of years with Robin Hood, taking the job at PHC is transforming a young team. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. How it's being done is also another question. Like Griffith said, are they an attractive team? How do they play? Back to front? I seen them play when they played North Village, and North Village beat them, but they weren't bad. They look like they have a lot more possession game, which I think I saw against North Village. But there shows signs of a lack of, what would I say, quality at the back, which I think is probably what they would have to fix. As always, a very fit team. They'll run all night. They'll put a shit really, really fit and fast. Yeah, but is that going to be enough? Yeah. But they're on top of the league, and they're going to go play. Still got to play the likes of North Village in the second. They still got to play Dennytown, I do believe. So, and I think they still got to play Colts. So this is going to be going to be really interesting season, or the second half of the season. But again, look who's coaching them. Sequoia, who was in the national team program. And you just have to keep going. And I think it bodes well for what Griff was saying about the Football Association introducing certificates, qualifying coaches with knowledge. And I think that it's really interesting to keep watching these games and see how these teams are being transformed by the coaching staff. And you slip up, and if you, like I was saying, getting back to North Village in the final, I thought there was a poor display of them, and they've changed it around. Well, they're changing it around, and it's showing signs of being changed around, though.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Crossroads, because they've been stuck on these 13 points since I guess November. Things haven't been going the way of late. Are you surprised, Griff, that they haven't figured out how to get that engine started again?
Very much so. And I think when they first got to 13, weren't they in first place?
Yes, they were in first place.
Yeah, they were okay, and they seem legit. They had the two good strikers. It's quality. They're defending well. Like, see, I'm very surprised that they're not doing better. They had a good coach, so it seemed like it was all coming together. And I would have thought they would be in the same position that Devonshire Colts are in right now, but they seem to have folded. So I haven't seen a lot of the games, but I'm surprised that they are where they are.
Yeah, Punchy, early in the season, they were beating teams and scoring a lot of goals, as Griff has indicated. But now they've conceded more goals than they've actually scored. Are you surprised by this turnaround?
Yeah, a bit surprised. Yeah, a bit. But I think we talked about the beginning of the second and third week. We're going to see how long this lasts with them. Do they have the necessary qualities? And then the team is made up on hard workers. Yes, they do work hard. He's able to mobilize the team, the Moroccan coach. But then there's people that go away for the holiday. People get injured. Do they have quality in terms of longevity for a season? And I think that's what's going to be their problem. That's what we're seeing now. I think we're seeing, longevity with quality, and the best players that you started with at the beginning of the season. Probably some of them are injured. The guy Paul Simmons, I think Paul Simmons. Simons. Yeah. What's happened? How many goals the center forceman scoring? So I just think what is the facts are being shown now that quality matters. Quality matters.
I would agree with you, because what I think where they have a quality start in 11, but what comes from the after like 12 to 18, I don't think they have this similar depth as other teams.
Yeah.
Good point. I don't think they do neither. I agree with you totally, Griff.
And
they don't have enough depth.
This time of year, when you have people that get injured, or they have suspensions for cars, or people go away or work, this is when you need your 12 to 18.
No. I think they got enough points with the way the season's going that they won't be in any relegation issue.
Yeah.
But they would want to pick up some, confidence-wise, they would want to pick up a few more points.
And then the other thing that we get into every year with them is they have is predominantly a Muslim team.
Yes.
So after Christmas, when we get to Ramadan and the fasting, they have that other extra thing on the side.
Dilemma. Yes. Yeah. Which creates another problem for them.
Yeah.
But hopefully they can sort some things out and like I said, get some points. So now let's turn our attention to Devonshire Recreation Club, where Boulevard picked up a point against St. George's Colts. Boulevard led 2-0 after only 11 minutes, but then after some 83 minutes, St. George's Colts were leading 3-2, and Boulevard managed to score a goal. After having a man sent off in the 50th minute, they managed to score a goal 2 minutes into stoppage time to draw a 3-3 with St. George and keep St. George's in that relegation talk, only because they remain. Actually, when we start to talk about the next game, Young Men Social Club are now tied on 7 points with them. But again, another team that keeps leaking goals, St. George's Colts. They're able to score similar to Devonshire Cougars. Griff. They're able to score goals, but they're just giving up too many goals, and too many goals at crucial times in games. When you look at it, these last few games, they've given up goals after 85 minutes that have cost them either to lose or to draw. Just not seeing the game out. It's got to be frustrating for not only the coaching staff, but everybody. What's your thoughts?
I was at the Paget Social Club game, and people kept getting texts and calling out the 2-0 part. Oh, Boulevard's up, and it was like a murmur going on, and people were shocked, surprised.
Right.
Oh, and then it came back. Oh, they're done. And I was like, oh, here we go. So then they got the 3-3. People like, what the heck's going on in that game? So it was a big surprise that it seemed like, oh no, if Boulevard's getting that act together and getting points, this is going to make things real interesting for relegation. But in the end, they only got this single point. But if they would have got the 3, that would have made a real fight at the bottom. Yeah. But that's it. St. George's is got a trophy. They're a fairly decent team, and where they are now, being in a relegation fight is a bit of a surprise. But if Boulevard is improving and they're like putting in good performances against a fairly decent team, St. George's, what does that mean? Do they have a say in the title? Could they take points over one of the top 5 teams? Could they get a draw or maybe a surprise win? So I mean, maybe Boulevard's getting their act together.
Yeah, Punchy. We talked about Boulevard because they seem to always get a good start. We saw it against Paget a few weeks ago. We've seen it against St. George's. But again, they also give up goals as well. But just trying to complete a whole game for them and try to get 3 points. Where do they go? How do they go about it?
That's a good question too. I've seen them play a few times. I think one thing is that game was played on Devonshire Rec, and on a Sunday afternoon or on a Friday night, that Boulevard are going to be hard to beat. They will put in good performances, but they lack quality in a lot of areas of the. They have some very good. They have talent, but against the top teams, once one goes if they go behind, you can start seeing them lose the confidence. They have Mallory. I think they have Cox guys playing for them. Yes. They have this real good leadership, but I just don't think they have enough quality, and I don't think they're gonna stay up. I don't think they're gonna stay up. I think that the away games is what's gonna hurt them.
I see you nodding your head, Griff. You agree?
Yeah. I don't see them staying up, but I do. If they can sort a few things out and piece together, I don't know, that if they are scoring goals, again, maybe they can get a draw against some of the teams, because most teams, when they play them now, if you're fighting for the title, you're expecting 3 points. So if you're one of the top teams and you have a draw with Boulevard, that might end your hopes for the title. So maybe they do have a little bit of sting in them. They can cause problems.
Well, interestingly enough, they got 3 points now. They played 10 games and only scored 10 goals, but they're giving up 27 goals. So when you start looking at that, only Social Club have given up more. They've given up 30. St. George's have given up 26. When you start looking at those things, it makes a big difference in a game because you got to bring that number down and increase the number of goals you're scoring to close that gap. And obviously,
how much did Cougars score against them last week? Was that score 2-0?
Yeah, 2-0. Yes.
Right. So
yes.
again, like I think that's more of an now looking at this, that's more an indictment on Cougars. Like if Boulevard's giving up goals and they only got 2, you got to do better.
Well, sometimes it's all about, and I always say this. Sometimes it's all about getting just the 3 points if it's not your day. Get the 3 points and then be happy, even if it's 1-0. Just get the 3 points. And I think a lot of coaches will be, they might be upset with the way the team plays, but the ultimate goal is the points on the board as opposed to the goals you score.
But I'm like, you want to make sure you're winning right though.
Oh yeah.
Don't just go there and play trash football. We got 3 points. They want to see that what we did in training, you brought it out to the field. If not, why did you spend the last week trying to get over with you? And if you play like that again against a better team, we're not going to get the 3 points. So I think they want to make sure that they're doing the things right.
Yeah. And then obviously the final Premier Division game down at Wellington Oval, Punchy, Young Man Social Club beat Paget Lions 2-1. Griff, you said you saw this game. Give us your take on the overall performance of both teams.
It was a little scrappy. The first half was 0-0. I can move. Paget went down first, and then that seemed to wake them up, and they were going, and they had more possession. They got it to 1-0, and they kept pushing in the last 10 minutes, pushing to get the goal. And Social Club hit him on a break, bam, got it up. I think it was like maybe 3 passes, boop, 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 got it to Zico, and he planted it. So you blink in a moment, and the key player will do him in. And just before that, they had it was Clay Darrow and Zico up front. Clay Darrow went off injured, and it seemed like, oh yeah, the finish now. They're not gonna get anything out of this. That was when it was 1-1. I think it was 1-0. That's when they then Paget scored. I said, okay, look, Clay's off. They have nothing up front. But lo and behold, they still eked out the goal. So gotta be careful. So some Paget fans after the game were like, hey, better not say anything bad about us. They said, well, some ladies, they said, well, tell me how I make it sound good. And they said, the last goal was offside. I said, I can't do with that. Like, nah. I said, you got to give me something better than that.
Punchy, one thing you always talk about how scrappy Social Club play at Police Field, and they're very hard to beat at Police Field. But again, it's always a team that if they've got a chance to stay in the game, they can come up with some goods. And today was one of those days.
Yeah, for sure. Zeke, just having Zico lose, and he's really playing his best. And when you're playing against what's happening at Paget, which is also what I think is the same problem that they're having at St. George's. But when with Zico lose, he makes a hell of a difference. If there was more support, he had a couple more better players around him. Social Club's mentality, I think, just the mentality themselves, never say die. I think they could probably stay up. And I think they just might. There might be some surprises in the next couple of weeks coming.
Yeah, they're not tied on points with St. George's. 7 points. They're just
that's right.
conceded more goals. So and if you look at it, Paget are now within 2 points of them because Paget's only got 9. So yeah, it's St. George's and Paget are it's got to be. They're looking over their shoulder. No, they're not looking over their shoulder. St. George's looking side by side. Paget's looking over their shoulder because one of these teams, one of these 3 teams below them, it has to make a move at some point in time. and they have to be wary of getting some points on the board. And I know someone like Antoine Russell, he'll go back to the drawing board and he'll try to figure out things. It's just the consistency of play for Paget. I think that's what has to improve on a regular basis. They haven't had the best of time since the incident up at Southampton Rangers, since which they've moved up to Whitehill Field. But it's just they haven't seemed to be putting things together how they would like them to be and to go on a consistent run.
So the player that came home for Christmas is still Cook, Daniel Cook.
Yes, he scored today.
In the middle, in the engine room, and everything was going through him. He was a workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have him for the remainder of the season, that's a big loss.
Yeah.
I thought they could. I thought without him, that goes on to the coaching also. And I think what's happening, their inconsistency with Paget, like that night game down in North Village, where they look like, wow, that's not the same team I'm seeing play. And then I'm seeing them play twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's consistency. And it goes back to with St. George's, if I could say that, of both teams, what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the coaching or is it the players? Do the players believe in what the coaches are telling them? Or because this could be pretty serious for Paget also. Because first of all, you still got to play against the likes of Crossroads, and you got to play against the social clubs. Mm-hmm. And those are not going to be easy games for both of those teams.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
Griff, let me ask you.
Well, I mean, Paget played social club today and lost. See that?
Yeah.
So I think this is for the ladies that want to say something good about Paget. I think they do have enough quality, because I watched them just before Christmas, and they gave PHC all they could handle. And PHC, I think, won 2-1. And the only reason they won 2-1 is because Paget missed the penalty late in the game.
Right.
So they can hold the good teams and play them well, and they can't take points off.
They got to remember that's like a neighborhood battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they'll come up they'll get themselves up for that. You don't need the coach don't need to say much in the change room for a battle against your neighbors. You know what I mean? You just get out there and do what you got to do, kind of thing. And that's what he's going to have to sort out. The unfortunate thing is that, in years gone by, Antoine's been able to come on the field and steady the ship, but he's ineligible to do that this year. So, the players on the field got to sort it out.
That's a very good point, Earl. That's a very good point you just made. Yeah. Teams like last year, just how well they were doing, and what you see this year. What did you put it down to? You're talking about because Daniel Cook's away. I think it's more than that. It's more than that. It's in a country like this, the Paget are going to remain with Antoine and at a level that needs to be consistent with the other teams. First of all, he's probably had to recruit some other players, which is very important. One or two extra players where he looks like it's lacking. But it's also got to be the consistency. And I just think they don't travel well.
Right.
They don't travel well at all. And that's also, I believe, what is happening. Well, St. George's is similar. I could tell you St. George's is but Paget is a cause for concern to me. In terms of not only seniority playing on the field, but someone wanted to hold the fort on, when they're playing. Now, let me ask you a question. Isn't that the center half that was picked for the Bermuda team? Doesn't he play for Paget?
Yes.
Yeah. So why is it that they are in that position that they're in with such a quality at the back?
Yeah. Yes, they did beat Crossroads 1-0 last week. With a goal from Diaje Hart. He was freely scoring last season, but hasn't been able to get that fire lit this season. With as many goals as he scored last season. So that's
why is that? Because he had Dion Stubble playing with him, and Dion will pop in and give him that. That's the experience. I think Punch is talking about somebody like that.
Right.
Dion Stubble's no longer there.
So are we talking about quality again? We're talking about someone with quality, even at his age, quality. I think that's what we're talking about again. In terms like that, teams that are young, up and coming, that have got young players, and they have a platform where they want to keep going and staying up in this division and move on to bigger things. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to be able to maintain stability within that club in terms of success, and how you keep going about it. How are you going to achieve it?
Yeah.
So one of the pageant fans has put up a chat that they need Rock to come back. I told him last time, I said the same thing. I said, hey, but you got to get in shape. He told me Ron is in shape. So.
Well, on that, let's take our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the first division scores and then get into our picks. We'll be right back.
New year, less stress. With Drop It, grocery shopping is simple. Order online, choose your time, and have your groceries delivered straight to your door. No lines, no rushing, just the food you need when you need it. Make the new year easier with Drop It. Brought to you by Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
The pink sands beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
And welcome back. Well, on Friday night at Bernard Park, we saw Somerset Trojans edge Wolves 1-0 to increase their lead at the top of the table to 3 points over Robin Hood. Again, Griff, I talked about just doing enough. I mean, I guess, you travel down to Bernard Park to play a Wolves team who don't want to give up any more points, who are willing to fight and battle. And Somerset come away with a late goal to earn the 3 points. Obviously, did the scoreline shock you, Griff?
Yes. I went there like thought, okay, it's before the Village game. Let's see what Somerset is all about. And I expected, because the different positions in the table, I thought I'd go down there and see Somerset dominate Wolves. But I saw it's two pretty evenly matched teams. And they were given just as good as they got. And Wolves could have been ahead in this game, except for a few good saves, and even the goal near the end, it was an individual effort, struck well from distance about 20 yards, and it's a good goal. But even the Somerset fans are standing beside. They said probably a better keeper might have saved it. The keeper looked like he was looking through legs. He leaned to his left and he shot curled to his right, and if he hadn't leaned left, he could have reached out and got it, but once he leaned to the left, he couldn't get back to his right. So good goal, but it was an individual effort, and that's the only difference between them. Otherwise, it's a 0-0 game. But so I was surprised that I thought Somerset would go there and win by 3-4 goals. But that's not the case. They're pretty similar teams.
Punchy, you heard Griff talk about the fact that he looks at Wolves as a similar team to Somerset. You constantly go by and see a lot of the guys training and so forth. But the scoreline then with Somerset, and I'll ask you the same question. Were you surprised by that 1-0?
Oh yeah. Griff, but I didn't see the game, but Griff said it was a poor game. from both, from Somerset's point of view, the lead, even though they got the eventual winner. But that would be a cause for concern for me and consistency. I guess you have these all games, especially after the holidays, how players come out and react. But my cause for concern for Somerset will be if they are promoted, what will be next for them? I think they're becoming a club also like the Robin Hoods of development. With what they have there now, I won't see them. It'll be tough for them if they are promoted. Wolves is going to have a whole nother scenario. But Somerset, when I saw them lose to Robin Hood in the Shields semifinal, they had enough chances. They're a very young team, so I guess they're another team in terms of deciding. Okay, if promotion will be a plus, but I'm not sure if they're really interested in. I think they're interested in development. That's what I think is happening there. Well, I think so. So if they're going to be promoted, they need a lot more firepower. They need a lot more quality.
Yeah. So it's when you go to those games where you have a double header and the first game's a first division game, second's a Premier game. If you sit and watch both games, you really appreciate the gulf between the two divisions. It's clearly different. The skill level, the intensity, and just the technical aspect. So if they do come up, you're right. They need more players. That team, as it stands, it won't last in the Premier Division.
Well, believe it or not, they and Robin Hood are 8 points ahead of the rest of Somerset Eagles, who are on 10. They have 18, and with only a handful of games left, you could pretty much say that those two teams will be promoted. Now it's time to work on what you need for next season, but still get over those lines, win each game that you're playing. So obviously, some technical work has to be done. If they don't pick up any players, then they have to rely on the ones that are there now, and they need to put in that work.
But like some things, like is no amount of work is going to change it. If you have a golfing talent, you're not going to squeeze apple juice out of an orange. It is what it is.
Yeah, Griff, I agree with you, Griff. You're seeing like a gulf between the two teams. Like, okay, Robin Hood with Keyshan playing next year at the higher level, his fitness will be also come to question. He's 40 something. So you're right about both teams. They look very comfortable in that division because it's easy to play against. It's easy. The division is not that hard. But the minute they have to come up against, like you said, a quicker pace, more intensity, the physical part of the game is going to hurt both teams. And I think that's going to be that's will be the challenge for both of those teams next year, because they are definitely with the two teams to be promoted this year. Yeah, definitely.
You talked about them. Robin Hood defeated Vasco 10-2 at PHC. Keyshan again on target 4 times, taking increasing his lead at the top of the table for goal scoring. Might as well just give him the golden boot for the first division. That's all said and done. But 10 goals for Robin Hood against a team like Vasco. Big score, and now they lead the league on goal difference over Somerset. Griff.
So what I would ask in that game, is it because Robin Hood is just that good, or is it because Vasco is that poor? Because it's not good for development for players at Vasco to get basically mold like that. Like where is the development in that? They're just there as like fodder for another team. So, or maybe they are okay, and Robin Hood is that good, and they see the level that they have to get to. Maybe that's not, but it's a 10-2 thrashing it. That's not good. That's basically what Parish was doing before they left out of the league.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it like that. Vasco, we know they're a young team and they got work to do. But it's just keeping them together. Wouldn't you agree, Punchy? To because obviously this season here is kind of you just finish the season out, but they're going to have to motivate players to come back next season to be better.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, you guys. That would be a cause for concern. I mean, you've been losing that bad, and but you don't have the quality of players. So really, then they're not going to be demoted to another league. So
Right.
what is their intent? I think they just intend to, be a Vasco team that just has a team in the league. I think it still has a good Portuguese following, and so what is it for them to achieve? If you don't go out and recruit now, well, let's go back some years ago where Vasco was really, the Vasco with the Gumbo Beans and Mal Beans and Rich and Robert Calderons,
Mm-hmm.
Larry Darrow, Courage Bow.
Yeah.
That's long gone. When you think
Yeah. Very much
that's
so.
long gone,
Yeah.
and look what's happened. Do you
Why-
blame it on society? People
why is it-
move.
Why is it going? Because it,
Exactly. That's a good question. That's a good start.
I like to answer the question because it's not sustainable. It's only so much money the donors and benefactors can pour in every year. Eventually, you have to have your club set up in such a way that it's development and people want to do it because they're part of your community. You can't keep buying players forever.
Okay, so that's a good point too, Griff, because I mean, maybe you guys know more than me. What is St. George's Colts development program?
Do they have a good youth program?
I don't think they do. Do they?
They do.
Yeah, they have a youth program. I mean, they have under 9s and under 13s.
And Paget? And what about Paget?
I don't think.
Do they have a relationship with the work? I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't it something one of the academies they have a relationship with?
One. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you need the youth program to develop the players so they feel some kind of bond with your club.
With
Because
the club. Yeah.
after they get to a certain age, if they don't have any allegiance to any club, they're gonna go where their friend is, or whoever gives them a bike, or somebody gives them a job.
Right.
I don't like this ain't my club. But if you have something, okay, my grandpa played here, my uncle played here. It's like,
Mhm.
you feel some sort of bond to it. Oh, I can't wait to play like my grandpa did. Like, I
Right.
watched them for years, but like, if that don't exist, chances are you can go. Like, let's say
Yeah.
Vasco, you're saying, is it cool to keep those players together? Maybe, but let's tell you this: if they have 3 really decent players, are those 3 really decent players going to want to come back next year? Say, okay, if we try really hard, we got a few more players. We can come 3rd or 4th. They're like, you know what? Somebody else can go to them. Maybe Paris will get back and say, hey, come Paris, you do this, and that. We'll get promoted next year. Maybe they tempt them away, but if they got really good players and you don't do all your best to let them know that you're serious, they're not just going to sit around for development. They could have development somewhere else.
Yeah, good point. The final first division game saw Somerset Eagles move on to 10 points with a 2-0 victory over St. David's. No surprise by the winners, but 2-0 over St. David's. Punchy. Somerset Eagles coming off the victory on New Year's Day, to kind of keeping their momentum going.
Yeah, it's good for them. I see them in the papers this weekend, the photo of them and the coaching staff up there. They look at it. When I looked at that photo, I was like, wow, it's looked like they're starting to get themselves restructured. With Stevie there, I looked at all the people who the team is surrounded by. And it looks like, well, this is the beginning of maybe, hopefully, something new. Because they did mention in the papers that they're looking to rebuild the youth program. But at least a start. See, for me, that's a good start for Somerset Eagles.
Right.
We guys always thought they were going to win that final. But but-
I picked them.
oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I should say I should say two guys.
Yeah,
Two guys. Not you guys. We guys. I should say two guys.
Yeah,
But I'm saying it's a classic example of how Somerset Bridge is going to rebuild the program. And at least what Griffin added to what you're saying about what's happening at Vasco, there's a homegrown Somerset Eagles player, White Eagle players. And then you could probably, if they start doing well, then hopefully without, I just hope there's no beef still with what's happening up the West End and what I heard about the talk. Anyway, the point that I'm saying is that then you start bringing in a little bit more talent. Because what they have now will not survive, and there's another team will not survive on a Sunday afternoon or a Friday night down against North Village. It will not happen. They will no. So but what is the good thing about it is the rebuilding the program.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I would say rebuilding. You need a youth program, and that's if you set it up now and get it going right. That may not bear fruit for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the interim? You got to go and coach players or convince them that they have to believe in what you have. What are you offering them? So like you guys say, oh, we got Andrew Griffith as coach. Like, I'm not going on there for that. You got to give them something. Like that's worth the while.
Yeah, going to the days where is you're loyal to it. You're sort of lured away from a club by something that you think is green pasture on the other side. So, hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. Good.
No, it is true. It is very true what the conversation we're having.
Yeah.
People are not gonna go if somebody from North Village or somebody from down at Wolves one of the best players gonna go up to train the Southampton Eagles, Somerset Eagles. That's like traveling time.
Right.
You would need to be living in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what we're talking about here in Bermuda now. What's happening?
All right.
So
So let's get
the same thing is true though. If you got somebody that stays at Scenic Heights, Riviera State, and they go past the host and the club and they go train in Tom or they go Somerset, like that's a slap in the face that you can't attract somebody that lives next to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you have it. Well, let's look at our picks from last week or this weekend. Obviously, we went with the North Village and Devonshire Cougars game. I took a draw. Punchy and Griff took North Village.
Woo-hoo, for the good guys.
Dendytown and Devonshire Colts, we all took Dendytown.
Sorry,
That
Devonshire Colts.
resulted in a loss. Boulevard and St. George's, we all took St. George's. That ended in a 3-3 draw. Paget Lions versus Young Man Social Club, we all took Paget.
Sorry, Social Club.
PHC and Crossroads, we all took PHC. Somerset Trojans versus Wolves, we all took the Trojans. That ended at 1-0 for Trojans. Robin Hood and Vasco, we all took Robin Hood. That ended 10-2. And Somerset Eagles and St. David's, we all took Somerset Eagles. So at the end of the day, I got 4, you two got 5. That moves Griff on to 64. I'm on 59, and Punchy, you're on 58. Okay? So we're going to start off this week, and I'll start it off. On Friday night at the Devonshire Recreation Club, Devonshire Cougars host Devonshire Colts. I'm going to take Devonshire Colts for the win. Punchy?
It's kind of hard. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, that's gonna be hard. But I'm gonna go with you too. I think Colts on the rule. I'm gonna take Colts for this, sir.
Okay. Griff?
My mama to raise no fool. Colts.
All right. Punchy, you're up. PHC Zebras host the Dandytown Hornets.
Wow.
Maybe that's on Saturday.
I don't know what the schedule is, man. It's all over the place. Let me see. Hold on a sec. Yes, it's scheduled for Saturday night at PHC Stadium.
I'm going PHC for this, you guys.
Okay. Zebras. Okay, Griff, you're up.
It's going PHC. I'll take the draw.
Okay, Griff takes a draw, and I'm going to take. I'm going to take the Zebras. Yeah. Okay, Griff, you're up. White Hill Field, Sunday afternoon. Paget Lions hosts St. George's Colts.
All right. Radio Sunday. Hey, people that give me grief on St. George's, getting this pageant, don't disappoint me.
You gave me Paget?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I right here. Jesus. You know what? I'm gonna go against you, Griff. I'm gonna take St. George's.
Woohoo! Got a better chance now.
Punchy.
I'm gonna go with Griff. I think Paget. I think St. George's are gonna. I think that St. George's got a problem. I think that's. I think St. George's is gonna have a problem. I think Paget's gonna Paget. I'm gonna go with Paget for this game.
Okay. All right. Back to me. Crossroads and North Village. Crossroads at Lords hosting North Village. I'm going to go with North Village. Griff? Punchy?
I'm gonna go with North Village to win this. They're on a roll, man. Just a game the other night meant quite a bit to the players. Really celebrated. I think they're up for this game here to stay in touch for the league. So I'm going with Village to win this.
Okay. Griff?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think Crossroads might be in a funk. I think Zanico Hendrickson's funeral's on Saturday, so it's the emotional high. I think Village.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Punchy, you're up. Police Field. Social Club host the Boulevard Blazers.
Whoa, Jesus! Whoa. You know what? I can't call this, but it's gonna be look like that's too rough. And I think I'm going to Social Club.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to Social Club to beat that, man.
Griff?
Yeah, I wanna go out there on the limb and pick a draw, but I think Social Club's gonna have just enough to get by.
Yeah, and I pick Social Club as well to win this one. All right. Griff, you're up. Southampton Rangers versus Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Rangers. Really? Games at Rangers?
Games at Rangers, yes.
I'll go Rangers.
I'm taking Rangers as well. Punchy?
I will take Rangers as well also.
Okay. All three taking Rangers. And now back to me. Robin Hood versus St. David's. And I'm taking Robin Hood. Punchy?
Also, if you are Robin Hood to beat that.
Yeah.
And Griff?
Clean sweep, Robin Hood.
Now, Punchy, you're up. You all seem to get the hard ones. Up at the Somerset Cricket Club, the Somerset Trojans are hosting Somerset Eagles.
Oh my God! Whoa! Oh, whoa! Hey, it look like with that turnaround, this is going back to oh wow!
It should be all of Somerset up watching this one.
Yeah, all the Summers is gonna be watching this. I might have to go rest for that game. You know what, man? I'm gonna go with Eagles to beat them, man.
Okay. Eagles. Griff?
Hey, can somebody text in? Is Nathan Rico still playing? He left Bermuda?
Yes, he's still playing.
Woo! You know what? I'm gonna call draw.
Well, somebody's gonna win. I'm gonna take the Trojans.
Take it something, is it? All right,
Yeah.
one of us is getting it right.
Yeah. One of us will get it right. Yeah. So there you have the picks for next week. Griff, you're doing well. You're out in front. Always
Hey,
look over your shoulder.
I try to give you guys a chance, but
Yeah.
you guys are taking it.
Yes.
Oh good. Oh good. It's all about. I remember at the beginning of the season, I was asking people to send the end up picks, but a lot of people could criticize, but they're afraid to send the end up picks. So I don't
Yes,
mind.
to all the viewers, it's nothing personal. We're just guessing, having a
Yeah.
little fun.
Definitely.
I do not. I had a lady that came to Walking Football yesterday. And her son played for Robin Hood. She says, "Oh, I started listening to the show because they say you say bad things about Robin Hood." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, but I think every team thinks we say bad things about."
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Every team believes that. One week or the other, we talk something negative about a team, and we're always against them. But you know what? Keep watching.
Just keeping it interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you guys have a good week. We'll be back next week Sunday with another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Enjoy your evening, gents. All right.
Good night.